Hey, how are y'all? Uh, this is your boy Greg. I just wanted to do a video about the beef between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. I'm doing this because I'm a fan. I, I listen to Fearless, and I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of Whitlock, even though I watch him a lot. I'm definitely a fan of the idea of his show, Fearless, and I like what he says the vision of the show is. So, I, from that standpoint, I do support the show because I like the fact that he can talk sports while freely expressing his Christian values and things like that. Even though there's some issues that I have of how he does certain things, um, the overall aspect of what he's trying to do with the show, I do support. Um, I do, however, think that it might be time to kind of back off of Stephen A. Smith. Um, that's just my opinion. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. I'm sure he's going to keep going at him. I'm 99% sure if I know him well enough that he will dedicate his whole show to responding to what Stephen A. Smith did uh, tonight. And what Stephen A. Smith basically did was respond to Cam Newton's interview with Jason Whitlock, where Jason Whitlock basically said Stephen A. Smith was kind of a fraud, didn't write his book. Uh, he was kind of a mediocre writer. Just basically said that he was installed. He was installed to the position that he's in and didn't really earn what he got. Yeah, that's basically what he said. And I think he also kind of insinuated that he was gay because he was doing solitaire playing solitaire at an NBA basketball game. So I mean, he was just taking kind of some shots at Stephen A, which is fine. I don't really know their relationship. I mean, they obviously work together at ESPN, and they obviously have a huge problem with each other. There's times when I definitely don't agree with some of the things that Stephen A says, but for the most part, I don't really have an issue with how he carries himself. I have an issue with some of his politics, but even in the political realm, for someone who's as liberal as he is, he seems like he's pretty fair as liberal can be. I think he's been pretty fair. So I just don't really think that it's very necessary for Whitlock to kind of go after Stephen A anymore. I mean, people who kind of support him, I mean, they probably don't really watch too much ESPN or watch Stephen A's show like that. So I mean, there's really no reason to kind of go after him, man. And honestly, as far as like the sports stuff goes, I mean, Jason's always kind of saying that Stephen A don't really know sports like that. Honestly, I don't really think Jason really knows that much about sports either. Like, I mean, if you watch his show, he's not really, other than football season, he's not really going out of his way to really cover uh, really much of the sports. It's really just football, and he'll jump on certain things. Like, he was really into Caitlin Clark. Now he's really into the Lakers now. Like, he didn't like LeBron. Now he's loving the Lakers now, and all these things. So, but as far as like a whole league, I don't think he really like follows it, covers it the way they like focus on like superstar players, and that's what kind of the general public always kind of does. I mean, but I think him going after Stephen A kind of just distracts from his overall mission that he says that he has. He says he wants to bring people to God. He says he wants people to look at things from a biblical worldview and kind of do the things that God wants them to do and things like that. Okay, if that's the case, then if you have this like higher calling to the point where you're trying to do all these type of things, I just don't understand the purpose of like going after guys like Stephen A. Smith and to a uh, and to I guess a small degree Deion Sanders. Although I didn't really disagree with him on the Deion Sanders stuff because Deion Sanders is, I mean, he kind of does things that people just kind of, like he kind of does things that other people get away with that he gets away with. So I didn't really necessarily have a problem with Deion. He was right about Deion Sanders. But Stephen A, like, what does he do? I mean, he just talks sports. He talks politics. Like, I just don't understand the point. Like, he talks to everybody. If somebody has a problem with him and they have a decent sized platform, when is Stephen A like not, willing to talk with people and interview with them? I've never seen it. Like, that's probably one of his biggest strengths is the fact that, you know, he's not really that scared to like kind of confront people and talk to people who he disagrees with. And so even if he sometimes doesn't have, all the knowledge on certain sports or certain things, whatever, like he's willing to talk to people. So for the most part, I really don't have a really big issue with Stephen A. Smith, and I think it kind of hurts. Like I think it kind of hurts, and I think it kind of proves Stephen A's point when he tries to go after him tomorrow. It's gonna prove Stephen A's point because it's like he's trying to make it seem like, oh, I have a certain purpose that I'm trying to do, but how does Stephen A. Smith kind of fit the purpose that you're trying to do? You're saying that he's installed. You're saying that he's, you have to do certain things to get to the type of position that Stephen A. Smith is in. But I mean, when you kind of do and say those type of things, you're like you just went on Cam Newton's podcast. Cam Newton is on First Take. Did Cam Newton have to do certain things to get that First Take role? I mean, why didn't you confront him and ask him and say, well, sir, well, I think Stephen A. Smith is gay, so what kind of gay stuff did you do to get on First Take? Like, you just got to be consistent, dude. Like, I mean, like if you don't know if he's doing that type of stuff, then why bring it up and why put stuff out there like that? Like, well, that's just straight gossip. Like, I mean, and then a big problem too is that because Whitlock is having this new show with him trying to, like I said, talk about God, now people are kind of looking at him and saying, okay, well, he's a Christian, so why does he do certain things? And look, I think Christians shouldn't really be worried too much about, you know, what other people say because they'll see everything you do wrong and they'll won't see anything that you do right. And I'm sure Jason's done a lot of good things, and they won't talk about him, but all the bad stuff that he's done, I'm sure they'll get on him about that. But it gets negated by the fact that you want to get on other people's bad side, and it's just certain things that I just think that we should just kind of leave alone. Like why, like I said, if Stephen A. was trying to represent the faith and say certain things like I know he's like Stephen A is pro-choice. So if he tries to represent Christianity and say, "Oh, I'm okay with abortion," absolutely need to call him out on that. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But I mean, if he's just doing his job and doing sports stuff, they just don't. And you're a Christian show, and you want to bring people to a biblical worldview. Why? What is the point of going after Stephen A. Smith for the most part? I just don't understand it, personally speaking. But anyway, he's gonna try to challenge him tomorrow and say all this stuff about Stephen A. But honestly, I think Stephen A. kind of won this battle because At the end of the day, Jason Whitlock, if you just watch his show, you know he has an ego. You know he has an ego. You know he thinks he's supposed to be one of the best writers, and it absolutely. He can say that it doesn't bother him, but I think he thinks he should be in that spot where he's like on ESPN and running the sports stuff or whatever. I really think that's what he thinks he should be doing. So, um, but he's like I said, he's having his success on the Blaze. I mean, he has a lot of subscribers. He gets a lot of attention on Twitter, so he's definitely making money. I just think that he thinks that he should probably be bigger than what he is. Um, I just think that we need to pick our spots with certain people if we're gonna talk from a God perspective. And I just think that Stephen A. Really shouldn't be the target. I think I kind of understand what he's trying to say with Deion Sanders as far as how he tries to represent Christianity. Although I don't necessarily have an issue with Deion Sanders trying to represent Christianity. I have more of an issue with his arrogance as a coach and him doing certain things that uh, that he shouldn't be doing that people kind of let him get away with. But I think people are kind of starting to see that now. Jason was definitely one of the first ones to talk about it, and that is his genius that he gets on these type of topics first. Even though I was kind of saying the same thing, I just don't have as big of a platform. But on that one, he was on it. But this Stephen A. Smith beef is I don't think it's really serving him well because if he had like a little bit less of an ego, I don't think it would bother me that much that he's kind of going in on him. But the fact that he does have such a serious ego, this it's kind of hard to kind of not see what Stephen A's point is. So anyway, Jason Whitlock is gonna probably respond, but I don't know how much bullets he really has in the chamber. What more can you say about the guy that you haven't said already? So that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Um, like I said, I love the concept of Jason's show, but I think he kind of gets distracted by these little missions that he wants to do, these side beefs that he always tries to do. But it's all right. That's how he makes his money. So who am I to say? But I don't really think it's serving him that well. And I think the fact that the writers are kind of taking Stephen A's side is kind of saying volumes on it. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate y'all.